Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well and I hope that you have a fabulous day. I'm here to do an intuitive card reading to see what insights, guidance, and messages the universe wants to share with us, especially in terms of allowing yourself to be. Yes, you should strive to be the very best version of yourself, but at the same time, be gentle with yourself, give yourself grace because you're human. Humans aren't perfect. And so, recognize that you are the work in progress and the masterpiece at the same time. And that goes for other people as well. And so there's, a certain amount of letting go and acceptance and allowing and, having focus on your priorities and what's truly important to you. So let's take a look at the cards and see what the universe wants us to know. Okay. So we have Golden Healer Quartz. Open the door. So a lot of times, whether intentionally or not, we end up closing doors. And, sometimes it is important to close doors on certain things, especially if they're no good for you. Like what happened with that toxic group and the narcissist. Like, I still am loving them from a distance. I do wish them the best. But having an open door for them to just walk on into my life and cause a mess and wreak havoc, it's not really the best thing to do. That being said, you should not let past experiences with a certain person, a certain group, certain things, dictate how you perceive everything. A lot of times, because we're human, we're imperfect, we end up building walls around our heart and, closing ourselves off to trusting and being vulnerable and being open and honest and having a loving relationship again because we're just no, they'll just hurt me again. And, that could have happened with a variety of people. That's happened to me so many times in my life. And I get it. These people, some of them have done you real dirty and did a lot of wrong and caused a lot of pain. And, you gotta use your discernment. You don't want to just keep blindly letting people in if they're just going to, every time they come into your house, whether literally or metaphorically, and they just start smashing everything, it's yeah, probably don't do that. In the back of the mind, acknowledge that anyone and everyone can learn, grow, and improve, but it's a choice. But you shouldn't let this one person, this one group, this one thing stop you from having what you want and having meaningful relationships. So the universe is really wanting you to learn to open up again, to have an open mind, an open heart, to not write things off from the start. Again, use your discernment. You don't want to, put yourself in precarious, potentially dangerous situations. That makes me think of the dream I had last night. So it's a long story, but basically it was turning to night and I noticed all these people going off into the middle of the woods and it seemed very sketchy. And this group of people I was with wanted to go to it. I'm I don't think this is a good idea. It very much felt like if people go in the woods, they're not going to come out. And it was super sketchy. And how was the one keeping people saying it seemed like there's people getting kind of brainwashed in the forest and disappearing and all sorts of things. So it's there's to, have an open mind, oh, it could be a good thing. Everyone in the dream kept telling, no, it's a secret party. It'll be fun. It's still use your discernment. So, have an open mind, but also use discernment because there are certain things where it's just oh, I could try this thing, but it doesn't feel right. So, discernment's also important, but you don't want to keep your door closed to everything because life is going to pass you by. All these beautiful opportunities, all these beautiful relationships, all these beautiful blessings will not be able to come into your life because you're not allowing them to. So the universe is really encouraging you to learn to trust again, to learn to be open again, to be vulnerable. Now, You want to be mindful of who you're being vulnerable with, because some people will just use that against you. Some people use that as ammunition, and they'll, be manipulative, and that kind of stuff was happening in the dream too. But like, you really want to be careful. Keep your wits about you, You want to be open and honest and loving, but also take care of yourself. Use your discernment. Yeah. Tourmalated cords, get out of your own way. That's the thing. Like, so often it's us that are getting in our own way. Now, that's not to say that's always the case. Sometimes it's other people doing us dirty, doing underhanded things, manipulation, sabotage, backstabbing, all that. But a lot of times it's ourselves that are getting in our own way. We are having those limiting beliefs. We're getting down those negative narrative downward spirals, like, self-fulfilling prophecies. What you speak, you can speak things into existence. If you like, oh, I'll never find love, everything always goes wrong, this, that, and the other, you get in your own way. Like what? Like with my mom. So I've mentioned it before, but like, she'll just go on these rants about everything going wrong, nothing ever goes right, this and the other. And so I mentioned that she really wanted those cinnamon roll pancakes. And so I made them for her because she was complaining about how she wouldn't be able to do it for dinner because they are only open till 2. And she wanted to do it for dinner. My sister was working and she wanted to have dinner with my sister and have those pancakes, and it didn't work out. So I go and make them for her. And my mom's getting ready to go on this whole rant how everything's wrong with her. I'm like, no, Mom, tell Dad the good news. Because, my dad had been working, and she's just like, she goes on this rant about how everything's wrong. Like, I look at her, I'm like, I told you to tell him the good news. And she's just like, I thought that's what you meant. I was like, how is any of that good news? And she's like, well, it was all bad news. I'm like, exactly. You were supposed to tell him the good news. And she's like, oh, you mean how you made me the pancakes? Yeah. Like, the thing is, like, she gets in, like, my family gets in their own way because of where they're focusing. Like, I'll literally come in and be like, no, like, there's still good things. Like, granted, don't try to sidestep things and lie to yourself and sweep things under. Yeah, things can be wrong. Yeah, things can be not to your preference. That's valid. You're human. You're allowed your human experience. But they keep going back and back and back. And literally, my mom started telling all the stories that she was telling other people, but earlier in the week to my sister, just going rant. I'm just like, and I'm looking at her, I'm like, and you're not gonna tell her the good news? Oh yeah, she also made me pancakes, they're pretty good. But then back to ranting, I'm like, come on now. Like, I get that certain habits and mindsets and all that can be hard to change, but it's like, really? Like, you had good things happen and it was like super recent and I made that for you and I didn't have to and you were expected, like, come on now. Like, for real? But like, that's literally how we can get in our own way. We start fixating and obsessing and just like, we get our blinders on and we can't see the good in our life. Like Uncle Iroh says, if you look for the light, you can often find it, but if you look for the dark, that's all you'll ever see. I told my mom to share the good news, and what did she go to? Bad news. An onslaught of bad news. Going on about how it's been a week of an avalanche of bad news, and everything keeps getting worse and worse, and like, how could it possibly get any worse? Oh, it got even worse. And like, listen, I know that bad things happen. I know that it can be frustrating. Like, I'm not denying that. But why is that your go-to thing? Like, I try not to complain. That's not to say that I never allow myself to complain, because I acknowledge that at a certain point, you have to vent, you have to let it out and get it out of your system. Otherwise, it can fester and it can explode and, like, bad things can happen. So I get that, but it's like, why do we keep circling back to the same thing over and over and over and over again? Like, we're getting in our own ways when we do that. And that's like what the universe is saying, is wants us to get out of our own way and open the door to positivity, open up to, the universe's support and guidance and love and blessings. But when we keep getting in our own ways, we keep focusing on the negativity and, speaking death upon ourselves by saying, like, nothing ever goes right, everything always goes wrong, like that kind of stuff, we're getting in our own way. We're closing the door. We're shutting off the possibility. We're disconnecting ourselves from the universe's infinite abundance, infinite love, infinite guidance, and blessings. And so we gotta get out of our own way, guys. We gotta get out of our own way. Adventuring, create your own luck. That's the thing. That's the thing. We can create more of our own luck by what we focus on, by what we make our priority, by what we give our time, energy, and attention on, by what we are speaking, what we are thinking, what we are believing. Yes, it could take time to shift our beliefs when we've been in that mindset, but if we keep speaking death over ourselves, there's a reason that they say the tongue is the most powerful muscle, and like they say that the pen is mightier than the sword. The words you speak can become self-fulfilling prophecies. What is it that you want for your life? Because if you're not being mindful, intentional, selective, and purposeful with the words you are speaking, don't be surprised when they come back as reality. Like, you reap what you sow. If you're planting all these seeds, that's what's going to happen. So why not create your own luck? Why not focus on the good? Why not look for the light? Yeah, still acknowledge that the dark is there. Don't lie to yourself. Don't pretend and be in denial and like sweep things under the rug and sidestep and all that. No, don't do that. Acknowledge that it's there, but is that what you want to focus on? Because what you give your time, energy, and attention to will grow. Why not use your time, energy, and attention for your benefit, Because we get to choose. We get to choose. Okay, yeah. Dwell on what you love. Dwell on what you love. Don't be like my family and fixate and obsess and dwell on all the things that you can't stand, all the things that are frustrating you and driving you crazy. Like, why are you doing that to yourself? What you focus on grows. It builds momentum. More of that shows up in your life. So, if you're focusing on what you love, not saying that, the other stuff doesn't exist, you can be open and honest and real about the situation, but like what happened with my mom, you could have, acknowledged that you got those pancakes. It was a surprise. She didn't have to do anything for lunch. I made it for her. I didn't have to. And, on my side of things, like, I'm not doing that just to bash on my mom and be like, I'm a better person, this, that, and the other. It's like, no. Like, yeah, it's frustrating that my mom is being how she's being. That's her choice. People will people. They do what they do. But I will acknowledge that I learned another way to make pancakes, which I'm excited for because that means I can make it for my friend. This was like a test run because I tried to make my best friend peanut butter pancakes before because she really loves, peanut butter, and she really loves pancakes. I'm like, you know what? This would be really cool. My attempt to make those did not go so well. I mixed peanut butter into the batter. It turned really sticky and like wouldn't come off of like the spoon that I was using to try to do it. And then like I had peanut butter chips in there and they were burning. They didn't like the pan. Like it was a whole mess. So I'm like, that was frustrating. But this time I ended up making it and it turned out really well. My, improv worked well. Like, I had taken the homemade pancake recipe that I had, and then I looked up how to make, cinnamon roll filling, and I looked up how to make cinnamon roll icing. I did it all from scratch, and, I got the filling, and I'm like, you know what, I could put it just on top, but I'm also, going to put it in the middle. So then I put some in the middle, and I put more batter on top so it wouldn't, burn on the pan, and it worked out really well. It was still a little bit of a learning curve because my first couple pancakes kind of broke because I ended up making them bigger than I intended because some of the batter kind of expanded and that was a thing, but they still turned out really well. And my mom was excited and they were tasty. And so, like, I'm not just focusing on the fact that, my family's being how they're being, they're choosing what they're choosing. I'm also, dwelling on the fact that I'm really excited about that because I know now how to make something else. I know how to make something that my friend will be really excited for, because she's been going on about how she wants cinnamon rolls. And then we saw this YouTuber who talks about like their family life and all that, and about how she's like, I think she was referring to it as Griddle Club, because she's like really into making pancakes right now. And she's like, you know what? I want to make some cinnamon roll pancakes. And so she did a little short on that as she was talking and making cinnamon roll pancakes. So, like, I can focus on things I like to. I will acknowledge that my family can be frustrating. But I also know that's not the whole story. It's not just about them. Yeah, it would be nice if my family had a little more gratitude, if they had a little more appreciation, if they chose to be a little happier and not be so negative all the time. But I have good from that experience too. I learned how to make something new, like, that helps build me up, because honestly, my family is super controlling, and my mom freaks out about dishes being dirty and like people using the kitchen and it getting dirty, and like we never were really allowed to make anything. So it's just like, she was at work, I was able to do that, and I got it turned out really well, and I took care of all the dishes. And then my dad was going on at dinner, he's like, oh yeah, she was complaining about how messy the kitchen was and all these dirty dishes. I'm like, I took care of all that, what are you talking about? And like, it's a whole thing. But yeah, like, just trying to focus on what you love, what brings light into your life, what you enjoy. Because it's not that you want to, act like the other stuff isn't happening, but being intentional with your focus, because that's going to help you, have a better state of mind. I'm pretty peaceful. I have a pretty chill existence for the most part. Like, I have a pretty, positive outlook on life, versus my family. It all depends on what you're focusing on, it's a thing. And yeah, start where you are. You don't acknowledge, okay guys, like, you gotta acknowledge that you are the masterpiece and the work in progress at the same time. You will get to where you want to be, but you also have to be realistic of where you're at, where you're starting from. So if you're, for example, just starting school, and you want to, be able to do, like, I don't know, be a rocket scientist and create rockets and launch them in space or whatever it is, like, and you're just, like, beating yourself up because you're not there yet. It's like, well, yeah, you gotta, like, build your way up to that. You gotta take stepping stones. You gotta reach different levels to prepare you for the next one. You can't go in, like, preschool or kindergarten and expect to do that. That being said, some of the youngsters, some of the children are super smart. Like, they pick up on things like that, and like, they just get certain subjects. So, be honest about where you're starting. You may be having a rougher time than somebody else in a certain subject. That's okay. You can improve. You can improve. It will get better, but you have to start where you are. You can't be in denial and be like, no, I'm already, like, I don't know, in rocket science class and I'm just entering school. Like, are you really though? Because there's wishful thinking, and it can be helpful, but if you're being very unrealistic, you can start, unintentionally sabotaging and crumbling and deteriorating your willpower to continue, because you're like, I keep failing, like, I'm not good at this, and like, you could be killing your confidence. So, you want to make your goals achievable. You want to have it big enough that you're growing, but small enough in the sense that it's achievable. It's not out of reach, and you're not going to just stumble and keep falling and be like, I can't do it. You got to start where you are. Yeah. You are destined for greatness on the wings of love. That's the thing. You are meant for great things. It's in your destiny. The universe has plans for you. It wants greatness for you. And that greatness, it looks different from person to person. But know that you are meant for so much more than a mediocre life where you're miserable all the time and you're struggling. Like, no. The universe wants great things for you, but you have to be open to them. You have to allow the universe to present opportunities and to work with you. Because it's like the saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. If you are, intentionally or unintentionally getting in your own way, closing yourself off to all these opportunities, saying, I can't do it, no, good things never happen to me, it's always a struggle, it's never nothing's gonna work out, and no one will love me, I'm no good, I have horrible luck. Like, how are you going to be able to achieve the greatness for you? You're going to be self-sabotaging whether you know it or not. So know that you're meant for amazing things. For some of you, it might be being a parent. For some of you, it might be starting a business and having it be super prosperous. For some of you, maybe it's traveling around the world and meeting all these cool people. For others of you, maybe it's being a teacher. For others of you, maybe it's being a scientist and, doing all these profound research. Like, it's different for each person, but you are destined for greatness. If there wasn't a purpose for you being here, you wouldn't be here. The universe doesn't make mistakes. There are no accidents or coincidences in this universe. The fact that you are here means there's a reason. So trust. Embrace love. It's going to work out for you, but you got to be open and willing. You got to be open and willing. Yeah. You have more options than you realize. You have more options than you realize. Like, the universe wants to come in and help you. The universe wants to come in and give you what you want. Sort of like what happened with my mom. The universe used me to give her what she wanted. Like, I had already been kind of thinking about the cinnamon roll pancakes because my best friend had been talking to me about it, and she's like, oh, that sounds so good. So I was already thinking about, doing that, and then I happened to be at the store so I could get the supplies, and then I made it for her. She didn't have any idea. It was a surprise. The universe used me. And so that's the thing, like, realize that it doesn't have to all be on you. The universe will use other people, other things to work its blessings, to work its magic. It's not all up to you. You don't have to do everything on your own. You don't need the weight of the world on your shoulders. There are other avenues. There are other options. So be open to them. Allow them in. Allow yourself to receive. You have more options than you realize, guys. A win-win outcome is in the forecast. Full moon in Libra. That's the thing. It doesn't have to be win-lose or lose-lose. Like, everyone can win. Sort of like how my mom, she got those pancakes. I learned how to make a new type of pancakes. I can now, more confidently make them for my friend. Because, like, I'm a lot better than I used to be. With how my family is, there was a whole struggle with perfectionism with me. And, like, I would have to be really meticulous with things growing up. And it's a whole thing. And I've had people comment on how my food comes out looking really, really good. And it's like, well, part of that's just because I focus on making it look nice. Because the narcissist, he had me make homemade pizzas, like dough from scratch, everything from scratch with him, and as well as sushi rolls, and I hadn't done either. And mine turned out looking really, really nice. And he's like, why do yours look professional? It's like, well, I was taking my time and, like, thinking about presentation. Like, when it came to the pizza, I was like, I had cut up the peppers and everything very nicely, and then I was, like, mixing them up so it looked pretty when I was, crafting the pizza. Versus him, he was just slopping things together, and it turned out like soup because he just kept putting all these liquids on it and these oily meats, and it turned out more like a soup. But that's the thing, like, there can be a win-win outcome. Yeah, there was frustrations with that whole mess with the narcissist and the toxic group, but I did gain things from it. I did learn how to make sushi rolls on my own. I did, learn how to make pizza from scratch. Like, I did have some good times, so it's not like I lost. Would I rather it had been like a healthy, stable relationship? Sure. But I can't do anything about that. But winning is in your forecast. Like, you don't have to worry. Like, things are going to work out. Again, you have more options than you realize. You have more options than you realize. Don't let your past hold you back. South note. Yes, don't let the past keep you from present and future blessings, opportunities, romance, friendships, job opportunities, like all of it. Like, I have had this whole slew of rough patches with workplaces and friendships and family members, and my exes, like, they've been a lot to deal with. And my one friend was like, it kind of feels like there's the whole gang sucking thing with you. I'm like, maybe, I don't know, but the thing is, I'm not going to, as the expression goes, throw the baby out with the bathwater. Yes, these people have done me dirty, they have wronged me, they have harmed me, all these things. But that doesn't mean that everyone's like that. That doesn't mean that every opportunity, every person I meet, all that, like, it's going to be that way. The right people are out there. Yes, I'm going to want to use my discernment to try to avoid repeats of the relationships and instances of the past that did not go well, but I'm not going to let the past hold me back. I'm not going to be, like my family, and fixating and obsessing over the same negative things and telling that story over and over and over and over again, in the sense of, like, this was awful, I've been wrong, this is, yeah, it was awful, yeah, I was wrong, yeah, it hurt, like, it sucked, all that things. I'm saying that it wasn't, but I'm not going to let that dictate my present and my future. I acknowledge that it happened, I acknowledge that it was rough and all that, but it doesn't get to decide my present, my future. It doesn't get to dictate my path. I'm going to choose. I'm going to choose. Work through your fears. New Moon in Scorpio. Don't let the past dictate your present and future. Get out of your own way. Open the door. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Yes, there will be people out there who may not treat you right, but there are also people who will. There could be jobs that are horrible fits for you, but there are jobs that will be perfect fits for you. You may have grown up in a toxic family with super unhealthy dynamics like me, but that doesn't mean you are destined to create the same thing for yourself. You can create a healthy family for you. Maybe you have a past of all these friends taking advantage of you and not actually being true friends, but that doesn't mean every friend that you ever will make will be like that. Once you know better, you can do better. You can open the door, you can heal, you can create your own luck. You can focus on what it is you love. You can focus on your priorities, what's truly important, and realize that you don't have to be led by fear. You can be led by love. And, use your discernment so you don't keep putting yourself in the same situations, but it's going to work out for you. Yep. A new start is coming. New moon. This is a new chapter for you. And I just glanced at the Golden Healer Quartz, and it just feels like more of a golden era. Like, you're coming from a place of love, you're coming from a place of healing, you're recognizing that even though you're human, you are a masterpiece and work in progress at the same time. So you're going to be more gentle with yourself, more loving, more compassionate, and be like, yeah, I'm working on things, yeah, I'm striving to be my best, but it's okay if I stumble and fall. I can pick myself up and try again. I'm working on it. I'm starting where I am, and I'm destined for greatness. I have options. I'm supported. Like, winning's in my future. This is a new start, a new chapter. And I'm not going to be held back by the past. I'm not going to get in my own way. I'm going to work through these fears so I can have a beautiful future. Yeah. I'm unapologetic about what I desire and trust that what I focus on will grow. You don't have to apologize for wanting things. It's not wrong to want things, to have preferences. It's natural. It doesn't make you a bad person. Like, it's not bad that I want to have loving, deep, meaningful relationships. Most of the people I've come across are not on that level. They're of different energies. Some of them have been ejected hard from my life. Others, it's just like they're still superficial. It's like, well, that's not what I'm looking for, but okay. I can meet up with you briefly every now and then, but it's okay. You don't have to apologize for wanting what you want. It's not wrong to want what you want. If you weren't meant to have it, now granted, it may take time to reach it. It may take time to grow from the seed that is inside you, but if you weren't meant to have it, the universe wouldn't have put that desire inside of you. It's not wrong to want it. There will be people, places, and things that match up and resonate with the energy that you want. It will help you create and have what you want. So focus on what you want and trust that you can have it. Again, you have more options than you realize. I choose to learn through love. Very much so. It can be hard when people do you dirty and they wrong you and they lie to you and they deceive you and they hurt you. Like, it's rough. It's rough, guys. Like, I've been through the ringer with some of my experience, like, oh boy, but I do my best to choose love. I do my best to choose a path of integrity, common decency, love, respect, kindness, peace, and I do my best to make choices that I can be proud of and go to bed easily at night. And I also acknowledge that I am not responsible for other people's choices, like that toxic group, the narcissist, my family, supposed friends, toxic former bosses, all that. It's just like, they made their own choices. That's between them and their maker, them and the divine, them and the universe. Like, I don't have to hold on to resentment and bitterness and vengeance and hatred and all of that. Like, I know plenty of people do that, but I don't choose that for myself. I choose love. I choose forgiveness. And forgiveness does not mean you blindly open the door and let the people come back in to trash your house. That's not what forgiveness is. Forgiveness means that you're not going to, cling on to it in your heart. You're not going to have it weigh you down. You're going to set yourself and the other person free. That doesn't mean they aren't accountable for their actions. That doesn't mean they don't have to apologize and make amends. Granted, they may choose not to. And so, you don't have to let them back in. You can love them from a distance. I love that toxic group and the narcissist from a distance. I don't hate them. Do I wish they would make better choices for themselves and others that were healthier and that would help them live happier, more well-balanced lives? Yeah. But that's not my call to make. They make their own choices. And it is what it is. It sucks. I could try to, teach them and help them, but if they're not willing, they're not going to do it. It's a choice to learn, grow, and improve. Even though anyone and everyone can do it, not everyone chooses it. And I choose to learn through love, guys. You can too. That's why the universe is wanting you to work through your fears, to open the door, to get out of your own way, to not let the past hold you back, to dwell on what you love and start where you are. Because you can create your own luck. You can reach your destiny of greatness. You have options, winnings in your forecast, but it's up to you. It's up to you. Okay, what else do we got? We have reflection. Look inward and evaluate your actions. Embrace introspection and self-reflection for your own development. Yeah, like if you are blindly going through life and you're not aware and you lack self-awareness and mindfulness and intention, not that you can't achieve greatness, that you can't, have anything good in your life, but you could keep going through the same kind of cycles. And some of those cycles could be generational cycles and patterns that are very unhealthy and toxic. It makes me think about that story of the two twins with the abusive drunk of a father. The one followed the father's path and ended up in jail. He was all like, oh, of course I ended up in jail. Look at who my father was. The other one, he was like, of course I ended up with a happy family and like I'm successful at work and like, all this stuff. It was like, look at my father. How could I not? Like, I don't want that for myself. And so if you have the reflection and you look inward, you can see for yourself what it is that truly matters to you, how it is you want to be in life, what kind of choices you want to make, what kind of person you want to be. Because the only thing that we can control is how we choose to show up in the world, what we choose to tell ourselves, who we choose to associate with. We can't control other people. We can't control external factors like the weather or traffic and all that. Like, that's out of our control. But we get to control ourselves. So it's important to look inward and evaluate and see if the path you're on is truly helping you get to where you want to be and truly resonates with you, and if you're in alignment. But the universe really wants you to choose love and trust. Trust in yourself and the universe. Have faith in the divine plan and trust that everything is unfolding as it should. And it can be hard when you go through things like I did with that toxic narcissist and that group. Like, oh boy, that was a very painful hot mess. But looking back, it's like we weren't compatible. Like, they were choosing very different things from me. And I still love them from a distance. Like, I still wish them the best, but I felt very differently when I was around them that I couldn't see when I was basically entangled in their web. It was when I got free from them that I realized how much lighter and how much of an energy drain they had been. So it's like, yeah, it can suck with some of the experiences we have. It can be very painful and hard and challenging, but it's unfolding as it should, because you're not meant to be around people that are constantly draining you and that you feel exhausted and things feel heavy and hard all the time. Some instances, yeah, because, life is full of ups and downs, ebb and flow. There will be challenges, there will be storms, but if you're meant to be with someone, whether that be friendships, in a job, family, romantic, whatever, like, if you're meant to be with them, overall they're going to lift you up and you're going to be able to work through the challenges, and it's going to feel like you're on the same team. So trust that things are working out the way they should. May not always feel like it, but trust. Yeah, adaptability. You are flexible and capable of facing changes. Trust in your strength to navigate your any challenges that arise. Yeah. You can weather the storm. You can stay the course. You can rise again. It may not always be easy. It may be very exhausting at times. But you're destined for greatness. You're going to make it through. So stay the course and trust. It's going to work out for you. Yeah. Completion. Release what no longer serves you and prepare to embark on a new chapter filled with opportunities. Again, a new start is coming. Release what does not serve you so you can get out of your own way and open the door. You just start where you are. Don't let the past hold you back. Don't let fears hold you back. Don't let doubt and insecurity hold you back, because you are reaching the next level. You are. Yeah. Turtle spirit, slow and steady wins the race. Have patience. Trust that it's working out for you. Start where you are, but in the end, you're going to win. In the end, you're going to win, so you don't need to rush. Yeah. Hawk spirit, let spirit be your guide. The universe is trying to light the way for you. It's always sending messages. It's always sending signs, but you need to have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. You got to be open to it. That's why the universe is asking you to open your door. It's trying to take you to new and better heights, new levels, new opportunities, new blessings. Yeah, bat spirit, a rebirth is assured. It's assured, so don't let the past hold you back. Don't let your fears hold you back. Trust. It's all working out for you. Peacock spirit, let it shine. It's time to shine. Stop holding yourself back. Stop dimming your light. Stop playing small. Stop staying in the corner and, keeping quiet to yourself to not rock the boat. Because I have done that so many times with my family. There's something, guys. Like, the types where it's like, oh, you're meant to not be heard, stop ruining things, this, that, and the other. It's a whole thing. But now the universe is lighting the way for you so you can shine, so you can find the people that resonate with you, that will allow you to be the best version of yourself and help lift you up, that will bring light and love into your life because you choose it. That's the energy you're focusing on. That's what you're having be your foundation. And that's how it's going to let you shine in this new start. Yeah. Horseshoe, good luck. You have so much luck on your side. You don't need to hide. You don't need to worry. It's working out for you. Yeah, the universe really wants you to trust, Staff. You will be taken care of in difficult times. The universe is not abandoning you. It does not forsake you. It does not forget you. It has your back. It's here to help support you, guide you, protect you, nurture you, love on you every step of the way. It's just whether or not we let it in. It's whether or not we trust and we have faith and we have the openness to it. It can't give us things if we're closed off. We need to allow ourselves to receive. Wind chimes, peace and harmony. Have this be your foundation. Have this be what you focus on and strive for. That doesn't mean you're bad if you ever have frustration or a rough day or anything like that, but if this is what you're focusing on, you will find it. It will be easier for you to have in your life. You know, if you look for the light, you can often find it, but if you look for the dark, that's all you'll ever see. So focus on the peace and harmony, because it's going to work wonders for you if you do. Yeah, the universe really wants you to know. 4-leaf clover, great good fortune. And again, you can create your own luck. You can create your own luck. It's working out for you, but you got to get out of your own way. Yeah, bag. Something important such as a new job or a raise. Like, the universe is trying to send you blessings, but you have to get out of your own way. You have to believe, you have to have trust, you have to have faith, you got to open that door. Throne, position of authority, you are reclaiming your power. You are recognizing that you're in charge of your life. Yes, you co-create with the universe, but you have the power to speak things into existence. You can create your reality with your words, with your beliefs, with your thoughts. You are the captain of your ship and get to choose which way you go. You are the author of your story. You get to write it. So you have the power. There are times where you can feel like you're powerless, but that's just what the negative wants you to think. It wants you to give away your power. It wants you to close yourself off and to think that you're small and to wilt and wither and to just, try to struggle to survive. It doesn't want you to thrive, because then it loses its power. The only reason it has power is because you gave away your power to it. You're strengthening it by, getting in your own way, succumbing to fears, fixating on the past of all this negativity. But you have more options than you realize. You're destined for greatness. You're destined to be the king or the queen of your life. So it's time to start acting like it. It's time to get out of your own way. It's time to step into your power. But yeah, you are stepping up in life and you're having this brand new chapter of all the success and blessings and wonderful good luck. But you have to start where you are. Focus on what you love. Focus on what you want. Create your own luck and get out of your own way. Open the door so the universe can come in with all its blessings and support, all its guidance and protection. I'm wishing you all a wonderful rest of your day. Please take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.